Hey guys, my name is Justin, and today we're going to be talking about whether or not you can keep your car once you file bankruptcy. Answer is pretty nuanced, so let's get started. This is Ascend Finance's YouTube page where we try to take complex and complicated financial concepts and turn them into manageable and understandable videos. Today, we're covering whether or not you can keep your car after you file for bankruptcy. Before we get started on the details, we need to take a broad look at generally what bankruptcy is. Bankruptcy is a legal process where a judge and a bankruptcy trustee oversee and manage the financial state of someone overwhelmed with potential debt. Now, there are two main types of consumer bankruptcies that individuals can file. It's Chapter 7 and Chapter 13. Chapter 7 bankruptcy is often called the liquidation bankruptcy because your assets may be liquidated to pay back the debts to your unsecured creditors. While on the other hand, there's Chapter 13 bankruptcy, and this is often called a wage earner's bankruptcy because there are regular payments that are extended over a period of time. Now, depending on what type of chapter you file, you may see that there's an impact of whether or not you can keep your vehicle. Now, the first question at hand, can I keep my car if I file for Chapter 13 bankruptcy? Now, a Chapter 13 bankruptcy is a restructure of your existing debt over a 3 or 5-year repayment plan. So with that being said, one of the main pros of a Chapter 13 bankruptcy is that you can often protect your home and car through the process. Oftentimes, even if you are behind on your auto loan or mortgage, Chapter 13 can actually help you get caught up on the arrears and protect those assets from liquidation. Now, the second important question at hand, can I keep my car if I file for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy? Now, this is a super important thing to understand as Chapter 7 can be a little more complicated, but nevertheless, there is an answer. One thing I wanted to say though, this answer is a bit complicated, so if you have any questions at all after what I go through, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the description or the comments below. But now, let's get through this. So protecting your car from liquidation in a Chapter 7 bankruptcy is actually quite feasible. The main things to consider are, first, most times if you're actually making payments on your auto loan and you are current, you may be able to protect your car. If you own your car outright, it'll be important to take a look at the value of the vehicle. This is because the value of the vehicle is important to compare to the bankruptcy exemption, because if it is below the bankruptcy exemption for your state, you can often keep your vehicle. Now, you'll want to work with a bankruptcy attorney who is well versed in your state's exemptions to help you navigate which set of exemptions you'll want to use. The good news is, if your car's value is under the exemption limit, you'll most likely be able to keep your car. Unfortunately, if your car's value is over the exemption limit, your car is in danger of potentially being liquidated in order to pay off the remaining balance due. Now, there are some exemptions, and so for those, I want to provide kind of an example. So, for example, there are some wild card exemptions through the bankruptcy exemption for your state that can often cover whatever you choose. So let's say the exemption for the car is only above the exemption by a hair, 100, a couple thousand. You can actually potentially use the wild card exemption to cover the rest of the car, saving it and protecting it from being liquidated. Now, the nuance that goes into figuring out whether or not you can keep your car in a Chapter 7 bankruptcy can be confusing. And so that's why I was stating is if you have questions on that with what is a bankruptcy exemption, where can I see my states, please leave a comment below. I'll also add things in the description so you can kind of look around and say, oh, that's where my states is. But nevertheless, please leave a comment if you have any question. That's an overview of keeping your car when filing bankruptcy. If you'd like to learn more about the in-depth process of filing a bankruptcy specifically, be sure to check out the links in their description below for more information. And like I said, please, if you still have a question, please be sure to drop a comment down below, as we'll try to get back to you as soon as we can. And as always, like, subscribe, leave a comment so that you can always stay on top of all the latest debt relief, bankruptcy, and debt payoff planning news. Thanks for watching.